I was going to go outside, mix it up a bit, but I wanted to show you. This is what I love finding, right, around here. Check this out. I don't know if you can see, but it's old bits of crockery and obviously being chucked to the dump or whatever. People dump stuff outside their houses in old days. You find trees that have just got bottles underneath it. It's like the local dump for the home. But these are the things I love to find on the ground. Like, you know, these two bits are from the same piece of crockery, plate, hand painted, like very delicate. But yeah, I pick them up and I look at them and they're beautiful, right? I just see that tiny little fragment and that's hand painted. So I just look at it, that it's so intricate and the delicacy, and I find it beautiful. But I think I can associate in that it's a broken piece of something. I'm never going to find the rest of it. I know it looked beautiful once and it was whole once, and then somehow it got broken and discarded and forgotten. And then over time, it slowly just got more and more broken, you know. And that's, you know, all that remains are these little fragments scattered on the ground in the mud. And they kind of get uncovered. Every now and then you find a piece, like those green ones, and you go, oh, they match. You know, that's from the same piece. You're never going to find the rest of it. The rest of it's obliterated or hidden or buried or out in the lake or under 10 meters of dirt. Who knows? Who knows where the rest of this plate or bowl is? It's never going to be found. I'm never going to see the full picture. I'll never see what it looked like. I'll never know. I'll never know where it came from. And I associate with broken, discarded things, and I always have. And I always see the value in something that's been discarded. And now I know why. I kind of always knew why. But now it really makes sense. And whenever I find these little fragments, it reminds me of the child that got fragmented and never got a chance to become a person. And there's like all these little fragments out in some space. The space in me, I suppose. It's like a never-ending space when you look out to the stars, right? And all the stars are these different little fragments of old, discarded crockery floating around out there billions of miles away, and I'll never, ever see them. But every now and then one falls down from the sky, and I pick it up, and I go, oh, wow, that's interesting. I wonder what that would have looked like. And I go, oh, wow, that must have looked pretty once. And I go, oh, wow, that must have been such a beautiful creation. I wonder what happened to it. How did it get so broken? Why did someone throw it away? What broke it? Where's the rest of it? Yeah. It's a good analogy. And this one's my favourite. That's my favourite. You can't see it really well, but it's beautiful. So, anyway. Here you go. Huntsman malt. Just because they're everywhere. They keep me company at night around the candles because they know that the bugs come in. So they just crawl around and eat bugs. But you never know where you're going to see one. They'll be like, oh, huntsman. Oh, huntsman. They'll literally crawl across the table in front of me. I don't care. And then they molt and leave their little skins for me to find. Just to remind me that there's a huntsman. There's one living in my drawers. I just open the drawer and shut it gently. Let it stay in there. They eat the bugs. I got fucking funnel webs everywhere. It's kind of part of the reason I'm avoiding my washing. It's full of funnel webs after the rain. Ooh, guilty boogly. They're quite large. Okay, I digress. I have a wee bit of coffee left and I need to wee. So this will be quick. now that I've got the blah blah out of the way, I use my Thoth cards, right? And in one of them, in one of the explanations, this is why I like the old language in them as well. It used the word ratiocination or ratios. If you're in America, they say ratiocination. If you're in Britain, they say ratiocination. Given that we're Australian, I'm going to stick with the ratiocination because that's what I jumped to. So there was a word describing a person, and they have, constant ratiocination. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Luckily, had no car and no power, couldn't recharge the phone, couldn't really use it. So I bought a pocket dictionary, first published in like 1921. Anyway, been through that. Very racist. Anyway, ratiocination means, it's a noun. This is from Wiktionary first. I got it online first so I could do the simple one, and then I'll give you the Oxford because it's but it makes sense. This describes narcissists, as far as I'm concerned, perfectly, in that I can see their way of thinking now with the childlike black and white. This makes perfect sense. So ratiocination is reasoning, conscious deliberate interference, the activity or process of reasoning, and thought or reasoning that is exact, valid, and rational. I'm like this, black and white. Rational, logical. It's got to make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, I'm like, why doesn't it make sense? How the fuck do I know? I don't make sense. Like I can make sense of anything else. Then the Oxford Dictionary says reason, formally, so formal reasoning, and to use syllogisms. And I'm like, what the fuck is syllogisms? So, Oxford. The Oxford Dictionary is like a choose-your-own-adventure of language. The older, the better. Because you look up a meaning, and there's words in there you don't know. So you look up that word, and then there's words you don't know, and you look up that word. When you finally get to the point where I know that word, undoubtedly you see half a dozen words in your flicking that you go, what the fuck does that mean? And you get lost in it, right? Choose your own adventure. You got to choose when to shut the book and go, I'm done with these weird-ass words. But it is interesting to see what they were writing in 1924 or 21 or whatever. So, syllogism from the Oxford Dictionary. Okay, get ready. I'm going to try and read it. There's an example at the end because obviously whoever wrote this definition went, they're not going to get it. So, syllogism is a form of reasoning in which from two given or assumed propositions called the major and the minor premise and having a common or middle term is deduced a third called the conclusion, from which the middle term is absent, right? It's basically saying they see this and you see that, the major and the minor. There's nothing in the middle. That plus that equals the conclusion. Doesn't matter about the grey, right? So a major premise would be all men are mortal. A minor premise would be Derek is a man. So therefore the conclusion is Derek is mortal. So I'll put this in layman's terms from a woman's perspective, as if a man was looking, I'll put it from both. We'll go women first. If a woman's looking at a man and she's a narcissist with the childlike brain, that plus that equals that. And this is kind of what we're fed. But the woman, depending on what she wants, she might see a man in a suit plus, so you'd have your major, right? So maybe the suit for her is a major premise, that man works in an office. He might be making good money because he's in a nice suit, right? He's got a nice haircut, whatever. She looks at that image and goes, bang. That man, maybe she's got daddy issues, whatever. She looks at him and just assumes because he's dressed nicely. He might be in designer clothes. He might be very well groomed. He might have a nice watch on. You know what I mean? She might know the brand of his shoes, right? And be like, whoa, they cost $300. She might just know that the tie he's wearing is a fucking whatever. And He's loaded. She might just know that because he is attending a certain cafe beneath a certain office, and she knows that he works with these other people. Okay, so snapshot, bang. That guy's got money, or he's secure in his financial stability, but he's also looks good, right? So she's like on major premise. Then the minor premise would be that, I don't know, I'm confusing myself now. I guess the major premise would be that he's a man, right? So he's available. The minor premise would be that he is this and this and this. A businessman, probably earning good money, like, you know, can afford good clothes, might have a good car, you know where he works, whatever. So that's your minor premise. There's nothing in between. You don't go, what's he like? Where's he from? Has he got a family, friends? What does he do after work? Does he have a pastime, a hobby? Is he married? None of that. Does he have a girlfriend? None of that comes into their head, right? Major premise, that's a man and I need a man. Minor premise, he's got all these fucking things that make him look like he's what I want. The in-between doesn't matter. So you can see how this can be quite sinister in that if that man is married, in a relationship, has children, whatever, the person that's looking at that man is going to just not see that. And they're never going to see it. Doesn't matter if that stuff pops up and she's, you find out, yeah, he's got kids. Doesn't matter. You've already made the assumption that that man has what you want and you're a woman and you could probably get it, right? And you will, because if you're a narcissist, you'll be like, I can fucking have that. And in the same time, you're ruining it for other people, which gives you joy. You want to ruin everything that that person represents that you don't have, which by default means you want to ruin everyone they know. This is what struck me as well within a lot of the narcissist videos I've watched where they say they ultimately want you to kill yourself. And I realized and went, it is the ultimate ego trip, isn't it? If you can make somebody fall for you and then break them to the point where they take their own life because of you or something you did, right? Even if it's a chain of events. But the narcissist will say that is because of me. I did that. That person killed themselves and took their own life because I affected them so much. Basically, that's all it is. They're not really going to feel bad that you're dead. They're kind of going to feel bad, good that they made you die. And they're also by default going to get a little bit of supply knowing that they hurt all these other people that have your death affected, or your demise, or your depression, or whatever. They get off on it. They like it. It's a supply thing. It's like third-party supply. The third party doesn't even know that they're offering them supply, and they are, just by existing. So does that make sense? It really made sense to me, and I was like, oh my God, that just, and because I've been doing the cards, and this card kept coming up all the time, and so I looked it up the first time, and then every time the card came up, I had to kind of look it up again and go, what was that again? But it's reasoning, but it struck me then. I was like, black and white. You did this, so you are that. There's no in-between, and you'll never be able to justify the in-between, right? No one. They'll never see it. You look like that, so you are that. You're from there, so you like that. You're a woman, so you want money. Seriously, it's that simple. You're a drug addict, so you want my drugs, right? Salesman. You're a car salesman, you want me to buy a car. Like, yeah. It's the logic, right? There is no middle ground. There's no reasoning because it's this plus this equals that, and it's being programmed at a very young age to think like that. So then throughout life, that is the only way that people are perceived. And events, situations, anything, that it's a real fight or flight thing too, right? So that situation equals this dangerous, unsafe, traumatic event. So, there's no in between. You're like that person, so that drunk man in a loud bar equals rape to a woman that's had that happen before, right? for a guy that's looking to punch on. That drunk man, very drunk man with an attitude in a bar equals a fight, right? Just depends what your perspective is. The barman will be like, you know, that band plus 100 fucking patrons equals me having a shit night before it's even started, right? Do you see? It's not just with people and stuff. It's just your own thought processes, your assumption. That plus that. So like for women with the fear thing, right? Lonely woman walking through a park at night equals murder in Melbourne. Seriously. Not even in the park. Drunk woman walking down a street in high heels equals rape and murder. Gang members would be the same. You know, you're walking down, you'd be like a bunch of guys on the corner, like a bunch of men standing together in that area equals you getting shot, stabbed, mugged, bashed, whatever, right? It's no different when you go to the store. Supermarkets always have milk, so I will get my milk. That's an assumption. But if you walk into the store and they're like, no, sorry, we're out of milk, you're like, what? You're supposed to have milk. And that's when a narcissist will fly off the handle. What do you mean you've got no milk? You've always got milk. Every corner store should have milk. You're telling me you don't have milk, right? The one day in 20 years that they don't have milk, and the narcissist will be like, what the fuck? Because in their mind, the corner store always has milk. And if the grey in between if the equals doesn't equal what they want it to equal, they just can't fucking process. They're like, hang on, no, that plus that equals that, always. And if you're going to try and tell me different, I'm going to have a hard time dealing with it, and I'm probably going to get whatever, frustrated, angry, cry. I don't know. Pick a fucking reaction that is totally uncalled for. Simply because they didn't get what they want, okay? Simply because they didn't get what they want on the assumption in their own brain that that plus that always equals that and they should get it. This is the thing with the spoiled child syndrome, right? I ask mum for this, she gives it to me, I get it, right? If I cry, like I want something, if I cry, I get it. I want attention, if I swear, I'll get a smack. You know, it's that simple. Like, I don't like that vegetable, so if I don't eat it, I won't have to. It's training, behavior training, right? Basic. But if you repeat it and repeat it, if the child repeats it and repeats it, or if you repeat it and repeat it upon the child, or whatever's repeated, stays forever. You're hardwiring. It's those early years where you don't want to let your kid get away with blue murder, hey? You need boundaries. They need to know they're not the center of the earth, and they don't always get what they want. And they can't manipulate people into always getting what they want. Or, you know, like, anyway, it's trained behavior. So, ratiocination is reasoning, but very, very exact, valid, or rational. Syllogism is what I said, two propositions, major and minor, and the conclusion is what it is. So there's no in between. It's childlike thinking at the basic level. That's what it is. This is why they say that you therapists can't counsel a narcissist like an adult, because their mind doesn't operate like an adult. And I associate as in, I think I've just been copying off narcissists my whole life, right? Because I grew up with them in an abusive family, heavily abused family. Of course, everyone's on the spectrum of one of the two, right? Narcissistic and psychopathic. That's what I grew up with. That's what I base my personality on. Of course I'm going to be like these people, and of course I'm going to gravitate towards them because I know them, right? I think I do. I thought I did. I never did. I don't know anyone. I don't know myself. There is no me. Anyway, ratiocination, syllogism. Both perfectly describe the narcissistic mindset and decision-making abilities and reasoning. It was a good thing for me. Light bulb, another light bulb, as in I go, whoa, yes, that is right. That makes sense. Now I understand. Check. Move on. So I hope you understand too. Made sense to me.